You don't necessarily have to be the fairest of them all to make this list.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 popular female fairy tale characters. For this list, we'll be looking at the most beloved female characters from classic Western and European fairy tales. We won't be looking at original Disney creations, however.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
Number 10, the Frog Princess. While Disney's The Princess and the Frog was lots of fun, it was quite different from the Brothers Grimm original. In The Frog Prince, a spoiled princess loses her golden ball in a pond. A frog offers to retrieve it, if she will kiss him.
Yes, yes, yes! This is exactly the answer! You must kiss me.
She agrees, but once she gets her ball back, breaks her promise.
Oh dear, I've been so bad to you. Please forgive me.
In the modern version, she agrees to kiss him, and he turns into a handsome prince. In the original, though, she throws the frog against a wall in a fit of disgust, and that does the trick. There's even a Russian version where the gender roles are reversed.
Батюшка наказал, чтобы я с тобой на пир пришел.
Number 9, Sleeping Beauty, also known as Talia and Little Briar Rose.
I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream.
There are actually a couple of variants of this story. In the most popular version, set down first by Charles Perrault and later by the Brothers Grimm, a young princess is cursed by a wicked fairy. After she pricks her finger on a spindle, she falls asleep for 100 years.
Before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on the spindle of the spinning wheel.
The good fairies put everyone to sleep and grow a forest around the castle for protection. A century later, a prince finds her, wakes her with a kiss, and they get married. In Giambattista Basile's version, which inspired Charles Perrault's, it's not quite so romantic because the king is made to believe he ate his own children.
Oh, what does this mean, boy? I don't know.
Number 8, the Snow Queen.
Too cold to work, too cold to move, too cold to think. What fun!
The only villain on our list, the Snow Queen is nevertheless a captivating character. In the original tale by Hans Christian Andersen, the Queen of the Snow Bees captures a boy Kai when pieces of a cursed mirror become lodged in his eye and heart, bringing him back to her castle and freezing his heart further with a kiss. She will only let him go if he can spell the word eternity from the shards of ice in the lake in her palace. Andersen apparently based the beautiful but cold woman on opera singer Jenny Lind when she turned him down. Frozen's Elsa is, of course, based on this narrative.
Cold never bothered me anyway.
Number 7, Gretel.
Come on in, my darlings. The best candies are inside.
A consistent theme in fairy tales. While princesses are damsels in distress who need saving, little girls are usually clever and dependable. In Hansel and Gretel, after being thrown out of their home, Gretel and her brother become lost in the forest, whereupon they find a gingerbread house owned by a wicked witch.
Oh, poor darlings, you must be starved. Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Everything here is good to eat.
The witch plans on eating Hansel, and while he has his own tricks to avoid the roaster, it's Gretel who gets the job done. When the witch asks Gretel to see if the fire is hot enough to cook her brother, she pretends she doesn't understand the task, and when the witch demonstrates, she pushes her in and locks the door.
Hocus pocus! Then place this switch. Make Griselda a gingerbread witch!
Number 6, Belle, also known as Beauty.
Little town, it's a quiet village. Every day, like the one before.
Aside from the fact that her father traded her to a beast for a rose, things are actually pretty good for Belle, in a Stockholm Syndrome sort of way. Although confined to the castle, she is eventually treated well. Every night Beast asks to marry her, and every night she says no. But in the end, she gets a happy ending.
It is you!
In the Disney adaptation, Belle is bookish, brave, and intelligent. One of the first Disney princesses to actually think for herself, she is widely respected for this very reason. The 90s was the decade of girl power, and Belle certainly helped to usher in that era.
That hurts!
If you'd hold still, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Well, if you hadn't have run away, this wouldn't have happened.
If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away.
Number 5. The Little Mermaid.
Did you hear something? I wonder what this one is. Ariel?
The Disney movie is cute and fun, but the original Little Mermaid is a little bit darker. A mermaid trades her voice to a sea witch for a chance to become human for a prince. Apparently unable to write him a note and explain the situation, the prince falls in love with a different girl, breaking the mermaid's heart.
The wedding ship departs at sunset.
Oh, very well, Eric. As you wish.
On the wedding barge, the Little Mermaid is told that she can become a mermaid again if she kills the prince, washes her legs in his blood, and then jump back into the sea. But she can't do it, and throws herself overboard where she turns into sea foam. The moral is, ladies, do not try to change yourself for a man.
Ariel, you know that! Everyone knows that!
Number 4. Rapunzel.
Gotcha! That's 22 for me. How about 23 out of 45?
In this tale popularized by the Brothers Grimm, Rapunzel gets locked in a tower by an evil witch. One day, a prince comes along and hears Rapunzel singing, and she lowers her long hair so he can climb up and save her. The witch finds out, cuts off her hair, and sends her to wander the wilderness.
Eugene! No! What have you done? What have you done?
Long story short, the prince gets his eyes poked out and ends up wandering blind for years. One day, the prince hears Rapunzel singing and finds her. Her tears work better than Visine eye drops, and he gets his vision back. We're glad that Rapunzel and Eugene had a bit of an easier time entangled.
Ha! You should see your faces because you look ridiculous.
Number 3. Little Red Riding Hood.
Good day, young lady.
Good day, Mr. Wolf.
A little girl in a red coat meets a wolf on her way to her grandmother's house and naively tells him where she's going. Like Goldilocks, she isn't quite smart enough to leave wild animals alone.
Oh, that bed was just right.
When Little Red arrives at Granny's, she fails to realize quickly enough that her grandmother looks suspiciously canine and gets eaten. In some versions, it ends here. Nighty-night, kids. One of the most enduring and popular fairy tale characters, it's a straight-up lesson in stranger danger. Red herself has been adapted dozens of times and in a plethora of forms and platforms. From video games to Broadway, to fashion, to romance horror films.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning, Grandmother.
Number 2. Snow White.
Because you don't want me to tell anyone who you really are. Snow White.
Her story became the first full-length cell animated feature, and the character has been adapted numerous times. Taking refuge in the home of 7 dwarfs when an evil queen wants her dead, there's something about the sweet innocence of Snow White that everyone just loves.
Goodbye.
Oh, God.
Modern versions have taken the chance to deepen the character, giving her agency and background. Now if we could just do something about her prince. Seriously, who looks at a dead girl and goes, yep, she's the one, gonna lock lips with a corpse? Pretty creepy when you think about it. Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1. Cinderella. Her name is literally synonymous with happy endings. One of the earliest variations of her story first appears in a Greek tale from around 7 BC. The story of a kind, hardworking girl who, through unexpected and magical circumstances, sees a tremendous change of fortune or social position has been told throughout the world.
Oh, it's a beautiful dress.
But the European version is the best known in the West, with famous details like the glass slipper first put down by Charles Perrault in 1697. Perrault's also has a happier ending, with Cinderella forgiving her stepfamily, and her sisters also marrying handsome nobles. The brothers Grimm gave it a dark turn, but all the same, Cindy's story is the glow-up of the ages. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.